Okay,
Yes.
I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that.
Yes, that is right. Welcome on in, everybody, to the Saturday Night Network for a very special podcast interview here on SNL Stories, our interview podcast on the Saturday Night Network. And we are, of course, here as a presentation of LateNighter.com and with my man, James Stephens, and a very special guest. James, how are you?
I could not be better, John. I'm excited. There's 3 of us in here, and we're all strapped.
Yes.
Yeah, we mean seatbelts.
Yes, I love the excitement. I love the energy. This is going to be so much fun. I've been waiting to do this for years to get this person on the show with no time limit. Get to ask her any questions we want to ask her. So Punkie Johnson is in the house. Punkie, how are you?
What's up? What's up? Now, why you gonna do the intro thing and not warn me about it?
Why we want you to enjoy it? Get to see the surprise.
But
I almost wanted to send it to her earlier today, but I didn't.
got in my feelings, boy. That touched me, man. Go ahead on now.
Yeah,
that's fun, right?
Yeah, we're excited to celebrate you and your SNL career. So, the career wrapped up this past season. And, now that we have the opportunity, we got to chat with you a little bit.
That part of the career.
Yeah, that part of the career. I'm saying the SNL career. But I don't know, maybe Punkie will host one day. You never know. But we shall see. we know we're not done. Yeah, we know we're not done seeing her on screen, as you may have seen in the last episode of this season, where Punkie Johnson, we're headed towards the end of the Charlie XCX episode, where everyone's ready. They're putting the turkeys in the oven for Thanksgiving, and then all of a sudden, Punkie Johnson, with a drink in hand, is standing there at the goodnights, which I think was maybe in the 50-year history of the show, I don't think I've ever seen that before. So Punkie, everyone keeps asking me, they're like, "Hey John, why was Punkie on the stage at the goodnights?" So you got to tell the listeners. What was that?
But I don't even know. This is what I know. I know that my family wanted to go to New York City. I had an old lady weekend because my mom and my aunts wanted to go see the Rockettes. Okay, so I had everybody came. It was my mom, my 2 aunts, my cousin, and they all came, stayed in my house. It was just old people weekend. They went to go see the Rockettes, and then they're like, "We want to go to SNL." So of course I hit them up, and that's my people. They like, "Punkie, whatever, anything." So they go see the live show. I'm running around all the way in the back. I'm just messing around. And it was Lauren's birthday. So I was just, the timing of it, because I'll never miss Lauren's birthday. My boy getting up there. He getting old. So I was just joking around with people. I was like, "I'm coming on stage for good night." So it was like, all right. I'm like, I'm not going up on stage. I'm not about to piss Lauren off, But I was leaning on the wall while they was doing good nights. And Lauren was sitting up there just being Lauren. And I was like, we did the little eye hand variation, and he was like, "Get your ass up here." I was like, "Ah!"
He gave you the okay. That's awesome. Of course he did. He loves you.
Yeah. I love Lauren too. That's my guy. I be messing with him. I got because it was his birthday, so I got him a present, and the present was a T-shirt that says Punkie's ex-boss on the front of it, and on the back it said. On the back, it said Lauren loves Punkie. I'm trying to figure out if I got it somewhere up in here. I can show it to y'all. But it's a cute. It's just cute and stupid,
That's so. He loved it. I'm sure I could. Yeah.
He might. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I be writing him little letters and stuff. And I told him in the letter, I was like, "When we going out for coffee? When is you taking me out, old man?" And then I told him, I said, "I know you ain't gonna wear this shirt, but you better use this hot sauce." I gave him some Louisiana hot sauce.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he loved that.
And I call him Goat Daddy. I call him everything except for Lauren.
It's the best. It's so funny. So tell us about his. It was his 80th birthday, so big number for the great Lorne Michaels.
Yeah.
How was the celebration?
It was 80, right? It was 80.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I'm not wrong about that. But
was it a party all night?
It's always a party all night. This man has so much stamina. I think he sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber. I don't think he sleeps in a regular bed. He has to sleep on like clouds with like H2O. What is it? What's the with the oxygen tanks over his face? Like, I don't understand how he does it. I'm 39.
Yeah,
I think it's O2.
I'm dying the next day.
Yeah.
I'm dying. And he just sits up there and he just waits for people to come talk to him, and you go talk to him.
But did they do something special for his birthday there during the show or after the show? Or
no? So this is what I found out. Okay, Lorne you give all of his gifts, or you send them, or you mail them, or however you get it to him, to his assistants. He probably got like 15 assistants. He probably got them all to do something different. All of them do something, because he's a rich man. So it's like
we all know Karina, right? Is one of the big ones. Yeah, she's great.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, me and her share the same birthday. I hope I'm not getting none of all of this mixed up. And then you just go give it to one of his assistants, and they give it to him, and then they read him all his stuff. I don't even think he read his cards. You know how rich you gotta be.
I know, it's
Punkie. That's the dream, right? When you turn 80, that you'll have somebody reading you cards.
With my legs up, just chilling in a hammock with some lemonade or a margarita, with the sun setting, with the sound of the waves. Read that goddamn card. You know what I'm saying? Just straight macking. He's the man.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, so you had a nice time being at the after party, seeing all your friends again.
The after party was Jesus Christ. What happened at the after party? I don't even remember. I was drinking. You know what happened? They had a
DJ. Tell me.
Now, first of all, this what made me mad. All right. Now I done told my old aunts and my old mama, the after parties are really like a networking thing. You guys, we're gonna go in, it's gonna be like, and then you guys are gonna be ready to go, because they had flights the next day, and my other aunt was driving out. So I was like, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be relaxing. It's like you're not gonna even be at a party. We get to the party, they got a DJ. I think it
was Charlie's boyfriend.
All you hear is
yeah.
I'm like, what? I look like a liar. Not the party is popping, okay? And I'm just like, well, we're gonna be here till 5, 6 in the morning now, because once the tequila get into me and that we ain't leaving now.
You're not leaving.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Well, I was thrilled to get to see you on television just for a little bit, even.
We all were.
It was great. Yeah, it was awesome. So, okay, so let's circle back. So a few months ago, we got the news that you would not be returning to the cast for season 50. I know you ended up addressing it on your Instagram page about like some of the things that went down and the reasons why. But I would love, there are some listeners who are not on social media and just like turned on the TV at the end of September, beginning of October, and just were so upset that Punkie Johnson was no longer a cast member on the show. So can you just give them a little bit of a background of like what went into the decision? How did everything go down in your mind?
You know what, y'all? Sometimes you got to look in the mirror and chunk it up. That's not, I tell this to everybody. SNL wasn't on my dream board. It wasn't a goal. I wasn't like, I have to be. It fell into my lap. And I mean that in the most gracious way. Like, I'm very, very grateful. But the people that's on that show, they went to school. This was their dream, So it was just like, I didn't, if you'll be honest with you, I didn't know what I was doing the whole time. The whole 4 years, I go there and it's COVID, so we couldn't make friends. We had these people in these purple vests. That's as soon as we get close to even try to get to know each other, they beep, sirens going off. We can't be close to each other. So the first year I was alone. Second year was my first year because I had to learn how to do it the way it originally was supposed to be done. So the first 2 years I was new. And then I don't even remember what happened in the third year. I just went numb. And then the fourth year, I was having a fantastic year. And I just knew that it was my year. Like the first episode was blah, blah, blah. And then I talked to Lauren that night after the first episode, after Pete, I think. And I was like, I got something for you. And he's like, I've been waiting for you. And I say, I got you. And then like for the next like 4 episodes in a row, I got a sketch on. And one of them got cut because I bombed because like an idiot. And then my writer left. He left. And once Ben left, I just knew it was going to go down.
Ben Silva.
I knew it was going to go down after that. I felt it was going to go down after that because everybody have their pockets. Everybody have who they work with. And Ben knew how to talk punky. So
can I ask, when did you had mentioned that to me before, when did you and Ben connect? Like, because it wasn't, there's some writer cast member alliances that are really, really obvious. But when you told me that, Ben Silva leaves halfway through season 49 and that really affected you and your ability to get stuff on the show, it just came as a little bit of a surprise to me because I just hadn't heard about your relationship before. So it's always nice to get to know like how that developed.
So the second year came, I think I talked to Higgins and I was like, look, everybody already had their little teams. And I'm not the type of person to invade that. I'm not overstepping. I don't cross lines or boundaries. I'm not busting in people's rooms. I don't play like that. So I talked to him and he was like, I'm gonna hook you up with Ben and Jake. And out of those two, me and Ben, our chemistry was just great. And we kind of gravitated towards each other. And he
Jake
just
Norwind, right?
Yeah, Jake became like the guy that wrote the monologues. He's the monologue man. So his
Yeah,
schedule,
Jake writes with Mike and also Jake's dating Chloe, right? So then
right. Jake's had a lot on his plate. So me and Ben like really just had this thing going on. Him and I, we got my first song on together. Me, him, and Rosebud. What's the damn song called? But I don't even remember the daggone song. Intuition. Me, him, and Rosebud. Me and him got my sketch on, the therapy sketch on. We got some other sketches on that got cut, of course. But me and Ben went on a roll. Like when he came, me and him got like 6 sketches on in a row. And then I think maybe 2 got cut and then 1 got cut for time. So me and him, we just kept just clocking it. And then he left.
Yeah.
And once everybody have those built-in relationships, it's very hard to, in the middle of the season, just invade that, And I wasn't.
And had you known, like, had Ben stayed around for the rest of the season, does that change your decision to come back for 50 or not, or it was just part of it?
With the 50th, here's the real deal. It was mutual, like. It was like a firing and a quitting all at the same time. Because it's like I knew we was about to have a conversation. They didn't know what I was gonna say. I didn't know what they was gonna say. And then we both got on, and it was like it was kind of like a you go first. No, you go first. No, what you gotta say? It was kind of like one of those. And I was like, what? Say it, not say it. And then they went first, and then I was like, great, whew, perfect, because I can't. I wouldn't have made it this year without Ben. Maybe. It's neither here nor there now.
It's interesting to hear you discuss it because it's very true that last season, that 4th season of yours, that first half, you were there was so many great Punkie moments. And then John and I were there in March for, what was that, John, the Rami Youssef show? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I got a sketch on that time, but it got cut because I bombed the sketch. See me, I'm going to hold myself accountable.
That was the Dr. Williams one, right?
Yeah. I'm going to hold myself accountable, okay?
I do remember this, though. You were bummed at the after party. I remember you were not feeling it, but then you went over to Lauren. You and Lauren had your moment, and then you were fine. You almost I got to
talk to my baby.
Yeah, like whatever, however he does that is just, I think, remarkable because you were just like, I'm good.
Well, another thing with that is that's a me and Ben original. So I didn't have Ben, and Ben knows how to tell me to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a place where I just need sometimes you just need somebody to do things. And, like I said, I'm not really like a sketchy person. I belong on like Showtime or Stars or HBO. Like I don't think I belong on network television.
So then maybe James, we should transition over to the beginning of Punkie's career.
Well, yeah, we wanted to talk a little bit about the very beginning, right? So like how this was not your dream. So, let's rewind to like 2020, right?
Yeah.
How is it that you get cast? Did they want you to be a writer first, or what's the conversation?
So here go the thing, right? So first of all, I wasn't even thinking about SNL. I was going through a crazy divorce. I literally had packed up my car from California and drove across the country because I couldn't fly, because if I flew, my mama wouldn't let me in the house because of COVID. So I had literally just traded in my convertible, got a big Jeep so I could hit the road, stopped in a couple places, did some comedy, and then I went home, and then they like, yo, do you want to audition for SNL? I was like, audition for SNL? Me? They're like, yeah. I was like, network television? They're like, yeah. I was like, all right. And then I just did like 6 characters and I just turned it in and I forgot about it because I'm like, oh, I don't know.
You did it on a tape? You sent them a tape?
Yeah, good thing it was on tape too, because I'm terrible at auditions. I'm terrible at in-person auditions.
So did you ever do it?
Me.
Did you ever go in person to do?
No. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
Because of COVID, right?
Because of COVID. My audition was lit though. It was lit. It was so stupid. So I did 6 characters, turned it in, forgot about it, and then I think maybe.
Would you ever put your audition tape up online, Punkie?
It's online, but I would have to take it off of the thing. So y'all be. It's so stupid. Like the first character is how to break up, how Black women break up, or something like that. I'm just making stuff up. This is how Black women break up, and it's just this lady. She finds something in the pocket, and she's like, "What is this?" And she's like, "Get out!" And then she started being mad because he was leaving. She's like, "Oh, you really gonna leave?" And it's like, "Wait, you told me to get out." It was just, it was just so stupid. It was just dumb. The whole thing was dumb. And then I think they wanted to hire a queer person on the show. I think that's what they wanted. And who knew?
So you came on, right? Your cast, your newbies was Dismukes, who had been writing there, but also Lauren Holt. You and Lauren Holt, right?
Yes. Which is very surprising to me that she didn't come back the second year because she was excellent the first year. So it's just like with that, you just never know. You never know. Like with Chloe Trost, it's like, what? Like, wait, what? You know, somebody who's obviously made for a show like that. She can sing, she can dance, she can do character. She has every single component of a sketch show. And it's just like, wait, huh? So it was just like, me, I understand. Like, I don't have all the components of sketch.
But I will say this, John, do you remember this? Yeah, of course, John, you remember this because we all wait in eager anticipation at the start of the new season, and there's these new cast members. So in 2020, I remember distinctly, it is announced Punkie Johnson, and not knowing her, but seeing and reading all this about people who had seen your stand-up, who just were like, "Oh my gosh, she's going to be great." Do you remember that, John? Just like the excitement for. Yeah,
totally.
Stand up and sketch is 2 different things.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I always felt a kinship to you and Lauren and Dismukes because I started podcasting about SNL the same year that you started as a cast member. So to me, like, you guys were a part of like the next stage of my SNL journey. So I always felt like, oh, like getting to see you grow on the show at the same time as I'm growing as an SNL commentator was something that like I really felt great about. And I know that like you and I connected about that a little bit when we first met each other a few years ago. So, you know, for me, it's fascinating. I think that your story and how you got on the show is one of the more unique stories because of the time and place it went down. Like in your mind, Punkie, if there was no COVID, do you think you would have been a cast member on SNL?
You know what? I like to say stuff like it's neither here nor there because we'll never know.
Okay.
But in my literal, just honest opinion, probably not, because it is a very character-driven show, of course. And when I did my audition, it was very easy for me to stop it when it wasn't working out and start over. As opposed to going up in front of these people, doing something I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no experience. I'm very green. And then doing it in front of the biggest producers and the biggest man in comedy, who's Lauren Michaels. You know, I mean, he don't do stand up, but he has the mind. He has the mind of a comedian. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants to see. And it would have been. I feel like it would have been embarrassing for me. So I got lucky. I was very fortunate.
Yeah. It's also interesting because I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of cast members from different eras of the show, and you by far are the most extroverted SNL cast member that I think I have met. Like you see everyone, whether they're just a fan of the show or the biggest celebrity in the world, as like just another person, and you will talk to anyone from any background, any type. And I find that like you know, it's a really great characteristic that you have that I don't know that you do share with a lot of sketch comedians who happen to be more introverted and then come alive through their characters. Whereas you just, your personality, no matter what you do, that you can't stop being punky.
Well, you know, I'm from New Orleans, baby. My mama, she like, look, I don't care what all that Hollywood crap is. She don't care. Like she humble me every time I go home. She's like, you treat you everybody is treated the same. There ain't nobody up here, ain't nobody down here. Yes, maybe financially, yes, maybe status, maybe certain people could get into these rooms that may not could get into these rooms. But guess what? As human beings, we all bleed the same blood. So I don't want to hear you out there acting a fool, Punkie. So, yes,
That's a good mom. That's a good mama.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I love it.
Look,
That's
I be
awesome.
folding all my clothes, hanging all my clothes up. They be like, Punkie, we're gonna be out of a job if you keep tying your own shoe, hanging and putting you on your own bra, hanging up your own clothes. I'm like, well.
So I know that the last few years on the show probably feel like a little bit of a blur to you, you know, but I really would love to make this as great of a deep dive as we can into the moments and sort of go through these last few years with you to the best of your recollection. So if it's cool with you, James and I will bring up some moments that we remember from your SNL career. You'll tell us, you know, any stories, any fun things that you have about those moments. And if you don't have anything good for there, we can keep going. But why don't we start with that first episode back in season 46? So like you said, you're hired. Chris Rock is the host that is announced for, you know, coming right out of, you know, these at-home episodes in season 45. And it's a great time to have this conversation with you, Punkie, because Chris Rock was just announced as the host coming up on December 14th in a couple episodes. So what was your experience like for that first episode? And let's talk through Chris Rock as a host.
I know that I was shitting bricks. I could tell you that. I also know that they were like, look, my hair was very long. My hair was to my knees. So they were like, we're going to try very hard to not cut your hair. And so if you look at that episode, my head, I look like an alien because all of the wigs go all the way back. And after that episode, of course, it got better because they was like, we got to cut this shit.
You were trying to do the cone heads.
I was a cone head from the width and not.
Yeah, that's right. From the width. And
Chris Rock was great. God, I don't remember that episode. I remember I was so pissed because I had to go up after Kate for the basketball sketch. And you know, it's the first episode. You know, when they see Kate, they're gonna be like, "What?" And she gets applause break, and it's just like everyone wants to see Kate, and they're like, "Oh my God, Kate!" And then it's me. They're like, "Who is this bitch?" So that kind of hit me hard. I'm like, "Oh man, that's crazy." But I mean, it's Kate. What you gonna do, you know? And I think that's pretty much. I remember wearing these very short red shorts, and it was my first time like really like walking in heels. I almost broke my ankle, my toe, and my knee all in the same step that I took to get on stage. And that was it. And that's when I saw how fine I was. I didn't know how fine I was until I put that daggone sheer shirt on.
See the lights on you.
I was like, "Oh damn, Punkie, you got a body." And that's when all the DMs started from all the men and all kind of stuff. I was like, "Oh Lord."
We'll get to it, but I could only imagine after that Lordy episode.
That's right.
But yeah, Chris Rock was great.
Any thoughts on him coming back to host in December?
I just saw he's come back. I'm sitting up here trying to figure out how to go, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. But yeah, you know what? Chris Rock will talk to us and give us advice, and he's a very decent man.
He's been pretty real about his time at the show. His 3 seasons, you know, I think he's not a sketch player either.
Yeah, and
by trade anyway. Obviously, he's You know,
it's just a thing. Like going back to the sketch stuff. It's like I can write funny. You know, there's like sketches that I wanted to do. I had a sketch where I was like a animal expert, where I, maintained the gators, and I kept telling everybody it's gonna be all right while the gator is killing me, and I'm like, it's fine. And the gator is continuously choking me the whole time. That sketch basically got like a standing ovation, but they didn't pick it. And then
At
I
the
had
table.
another sketch, yeah. And then I had another sketch called Sticky Vicky, where she was a pimp that ran a hair salon. And she spoke in phrases, like crazy phrases. It's just calling everybody, "Oh, don't sweat, pussycat," and just stupid. Just come here, pink toe, and just dumb, And then she'll get mad. I'll make you sweep the sun off the sidewalk. Just dumb, stupid sayings and phrases. That sketch got major ovations, but the person was 21 or under 21 or something, and she couldn't do it.
The host.
The host.
Yes, I forgot who it was.
Remember what season?
That had to be season 48.
Oh, was it Jenna Ortega?
It could be. Is she under 21?
Chat, maybe you'll help us out if you're listening, watching live. But that would make sense. That would be the only person I would think of from that season. Probably.
Yeah, then it would probably was her. And it was just like, she can't do the pimp stuff. She's under 21. I'm like, all right.
Well, we have another announcement that came out today, John, with Chris Rock hosting on the 14th, on the 21st with Martin Short, who came to the show while you were there. So just curious if you have any memories working with Marty that you would share.
Martin is just fun. He's a fun little man. He's like, he's like this big old bubble of cheerfulness. I got pictures with him in the phone. I called him, him, and like Devin and Ego and Sarah, like all of us in the picture with him. And he's just fun. He hosted with Steve Martin that time, right? Am I tripping?
Yep.
Oh,
no, you're right. You're right. They did it together.
Yeah. Just like, it's a lot of the hosts that come through, especially the ones that's just like, like students of the game. It's just like, you just love to watch them and just watch.
Well, do you know that he used to be a cast member on the show?
No.
Yeah, he was a cast member for one season in
season 10.
Yeah, season 10 of the show, and this will be his 5th time hosting SNL, the Christmas show.
And what about Chris Rock? Because he getting a jacket too, right?
No, this Chris will be his 4th time. Yeah.
Oh, his 4th. Okay. So Martin's gonna get his jacket.
Yeah, looking good. I mean, it's gonna be. I assume we're going to get a lot of cameos for this episode. So yeah, like if you're a little listener and you were not on social media today to see the announcement. So December, we knew about Paul Mescal coming up this weekend with Shabuzi. Then the next week we got Chris Rock and Gracie Abrams. Gracie Abrams, I believe the girlfriend of Paul Mescal. So they're doing back-to-back weeks. And then the Christmas show is Marty Short in his 5th time with musical guest Hosier, who was previous a musical guest in 2014. So those are the big announcements that if you missed them today are happening. We thought we'd get Punkie's thoughts on them. But yeah, there should be some great Christmas shows coming up.
Yeah, you already know anything with Martin in it. He's like one of those his funny style to me is like one of those, why is everybody laughing when I'm being serious type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait, what do you mean? Why are you laughing? This is not funny. This is a serious situation. In a serious situation, and he's just a mess. But he doesn't get it. You know what I'm saying?
He has his own brand of humor for sure.
Yes.
So, all right, going through Punkie's time at the show, were there any other cast members that you became close with, or that seasoned cast members that maybe took you under their wing early on, or any writers in additional that you mentioned earlier that you bonded with earlier?
Well, you bond with everybody. Everybody's bonded. We all connected, but we're all also individually fighting for our lives. It's not like no, you get thrown in the water over there. No one's taking you under the wing. No one's helping you figure it out. This is the big leagues. It's like you either got the swing or you don't. You know what I'm saying? You either gonna score these runs or you out. So it's just, you know, I mean, you can talk to certain people and they got you. It's just, but for the most part, no one's really worried about you. Everybody's really worried about themselves. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean, like, everyone literally is barely above water. So it's just like you don't even get offended about anything. You just completely understand the mindset, and you understand that everyone's exhausted and everyone is stressed and everyone wants a piece of this pie, and not everybody gonna get a bite. So I can't help you get a piece when I'm trying to get a goddamn piece. And it's not a thing of throwing nobody under the bus or being selfish. It's none of that. It's just that we all out here trying to eat. And I think the system is set up like that for a reason, right? So you can get there, you be the best that you can be, and you hustle and you continue to try to climb the ladder. You know, some people like the system, some people don't. I think that we should all be working together, but everybody works separately in their own little pods, which is whatever. No, you know, nothing against it, but that, you know, that it ain't my house. I can't run it the way I want to run it. That's somebody else's house. And when you're walking into somebody else's house, you got to deal with the curfew and deal with the fact that they don't like dishes in their sink. You know, some people like the ketchup in the cabinet, some people like it in the refrigerator. So you just got to deal with other people's houses.
It's interesting that you say that because, you know, we often talk on this show that we look at SNL like professional sports where, you know, there are winners and losers that happen every week. And it's not that we don't root for you all as an ensemble, but, you know, there's only so much screen time that a cast member can get to get on the show. And the nature of the system is that it is competitive. Like you have pieces that you work on all week that you try and get on the show and they get cut. And the ones who get on, you know, will be seen for years and years moving forward. So, you know, for us, right. I always find that there's a little bit of a discrepancy between like, you know, how we view the show and how sometimes the cast members feel at the show where right. they all want to be like this, like almost like a theater troupe that's working on the show together, right. but it is a naturally competitive environment. So do you feel that on a week-to-week basis when you're in the house?
Absolutely. And sometimes there's a guilt to it as well, because you get a sketch on. Sometimes in order to get your sketch on, your friend's sketch ain't gonna make it. You know, and sometimes when they sketch don't make it, you're like, whoo, but at least mine made it. And it's just, it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Because in order for me to do good, you got to do bad, you know, and hopefully we'll be hopefully maybe we can split it, but you never know because you never know how the timing is going to go. And you're right, it is about sports. So it's just like, I'll piggyback up what you said, Jay. And it's just like a thing of like, let's say it was like a league of sketch groups, right? Would I still be doing sketch? Probably, because it's systems, right? Like look at Sam Darnold. Now, that's the backup plan, right? This dude went from the backup plan, went from bouncing the team to team to team. This dude is 9-2, bruh. Just did the winning drive against Arizona this weekend. He was not able to do that on these other teams. Jimmy Graham, tight end for the Saints. Played for the Saints, played for the Bears, played for the Packers, played for Seattle. But guess what? I only know that because he played for the Saints. Everybody else, never heard of him again. So if they had other systems, I would have probably got traded to and live in color.
Right. Well, you know, yes, but on a more like micro level in SNL's sake, I mean, like Kevin O'Connell making Sam Darnold, we're getting really inside here, but you know, the Vikings coach making Sam Darnold a great quarterback and being really good in the Vikings system is sort of like having a writer who is just great at knowing your strengths and weaknesses and then pushing to get you on the show. So I think there's a lot of comparisons that can be made here. I was also curious, Punkie, when, you know, James asked you about anybody taking you under their wing, or are you connecting with them? Did early on when you were cast on the show, did you connect with Kate McKinnon as another queer performer on the show, or even Ego as another, you know, Black woman on the show?
So Ego was fighting for her life when I got there. I think if I'm not mistaken, Ego was in her 3rd season. And when I was in my 3rd season, I was a mess. And you can see it. You can see it. Ego will walk the halls and I would be like, you all right? She'd be like, girl, you know, so it's just me and Ego are like this now. Now we are like, I mean, we talk all the time. I literally just finished texting her because they went back to work today. And I'm like, yo, heads up, bro. You know, heads up, tap in, lock in. You know, I got you. I text Ego every Wednesday at the table.
I was gonna ask you. I'm glad you said that, because when you were, this is fascinating, by the way, to hear you just sort of talk about it in sports terms, and just, everybody have it, if you're not taking care of yourself, no one else is, kind of. So is the moment of truth really Wednesday after read through, when the picks are coming down? Is that the biggest moment of truth? Like, if you're light at that moment, what the rest of the week for you is hard to self-motivate?
I put it to you like this. My family always knew, don't talk to me on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Those are the 2 days that if you got a problem, tuck it. And if I'm in a relationship, whoever I'm dealing with, if you got a problem with something I did or said or did today or yesterday, we're gonna have to handle that tomorrow or Sunday. Don't, because they tell you, don't make decisions, don't have arguments or make decisions on Wednesdays and Saturdays. You're gonna ruin your life. Because it's just, you could be sitting up there on a Tuesday and you just killing this sketch. In your heart, this is the sketch. You in your office, you dying laughing. I'm gonna get up with this one. And then you get to the table and there's crickets. And you like, you motherfucker. I know this funny, but it ain't funny. I done had moments. Now, granted, I graduated at table. I mean, I sucked the first year, maybe the second year I sucked. Third and fourth year, I'm swinging. I might not be hitting it out the park, but I'm getting to third base almost every sketch. But it's just like, it has to be that SNL type feel to it, and they weren't.
Punkie, I often compare your personality to Tracy Morgan's, who was a cast member on the show, because I felt like, everything that Tracy did, you couldn't help but see Tracy through it, even when you got a character on the show. And I had thought that was potentially your trajectory on the show, was just completely embracing, like that, Punkie's going to go on and Punkie's going to be herself in anything she does. And I think that at Tracy's point, probably a few seasons in, people just kept writing him into their sketches because he was so good at the table that it just elevated everybody else's work. Do you feel like you ever got to that point in your third or fourth season where people were just naturally putting you in their sketches because they're like, oh, we got to get Punkie to elevate this even further?
It depends on what the sketch was and what they needed. I think everybody at the table had that little switch in them that could elevate a sketch, depending on what the sketch needed in the moment. Like, if you're writing a sketch where I gotta say something crazy and outlandish, that's me. That's all me. If you're writing a gospel sketch and you need somebody to say, "Not guilty," that's me. That's all me. Like, it's just like certain stuff. Like, if you're writing like a country sketch and you need some dumb shit, like that's like certain things were done like with ego, sit down. Like, some certain things, like I wouldn't be able to pull a sit down. Heidi can't pull it off. Mikey can't pull it off. Keenan, Bowen can, but ego can. So I feel like everybody had their special talents where if they needed something to elevate it, I don't think it was just like one person. But honestly, Keenan could elevate anything.
Yeah.
Give Keenan anything.
Yeah, he's the absolute pro at that.
Every single sketch, just leave. If you need somebody, just leave it to Keenan.
So with Keenan being Keenan, I'm glad you brought him up. He has to be the exception to the rule where he's obviously not fighting like everyone else is, right? So he's down to earth with you and just laid back.
Me and Keenan was next door neighbors.
Okay.
His office, my office. The only thing separated us was the bathroom, man. KT used to be up in there just chilling. He don't make no noise, man. He just be in his office, just doing his thing, waiting for his little name to be called. He just, it's to the point where, like when y'all said about Kate, when I got there, Kate was done. You could just see it. She's like, I'm sick of this shit. She's like, I'm not scared. You could just.
Well, we all thought she was going to go before COVID anyways. And then that happened, and it forced sort of like this extended career for some of those women.
Right. But you could just like when 80's like, I'm not scared of this job no more. It's time to go. Kate was just like, I want to go to the farm. Kate's like, I'm done with this. Like you could just see it in people's eyes that they're just like done. I've got my Verizon contract. I bought my phone. I did Ghostbusters. Goodbye. Okay, it's done.
Yeah.
Keenan's just having. I don't know what's up with Keenan. Keenan's just having a ball. Keenan ain't never gonna stop working.
To me, he's like LeBron. Like you use him for anything you need him for. He's completely like, if you need him for 6 sketches in a night, he could, have one of those throwback nights. Or if you just need him for 1 or 2 things, he'll be there for you. So,
he LeBron with a natural hairline,
Yeah, it's so true.
He got a hairline on him. He ain't need no help with that.
All right, so I want to transition over to weekend updates. So in the latter half of season 46, we get to this Carrie Mulligan episode where you get a bit on update called Pineapple Penelope Peters, the stripper who got fired, got Paul Pierce fired from his job. And that was sort of like the first solo Punkie direct-to-camera moment where we had you and sort of got to know you through a character. I think that was you and Anna Dresden and Brian Tucker putting that together. Do you remember like how it felt to finally get something onto Update in that first season?
I had been trying to bring Pineapple back. I wanted to bring Pineapple back, so it was just not a world where, she was able to come back, but she was my favorite. Her Pineapple and Latina Jefferson was my favorite 2 characters.
I loved how Pineapple would you would call Big Che Mike.
Big Che Mike. That's right. So okay, let me tell you about Pineapple. So every Tuesday, you write. Okay, and you're at work all night. Some of us get lucky and can go home and work at 1, but you're working till 4, 5 in the morning anyway. I can't do that. I go home, I'm going to sleep. So I will stay at work all night, all morning. At about 3:30, what pissed me off, because sometimes I don't like the operations over there. Like, I'm writing a song, I'm writing a song. Just tell me don't write the damn song. So at about 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that, I get a call from Chris Red, and he like, "Hey G, you know how Chris talks. They probably not gonna pick that song because I'm writing a song, blah blah blah." Anyway, couldn't write the song. Now I'm angry because it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and this song is done, and it's fast, and I think it's fire, and I've been wanting to write a song. So now at 4 in the morning, I have to figure out another sketch. What can I write? What is topical? Okay, great. Let's talk about this Paul Pierce firing. Now I'm on the phone with my little shorty, and she like, "Why you just can't be one of the strippers?" Bing, bing, bing. I'm gonna be one of the strippers. So me and my shorty wrote that whole sketch by ourselves. Me and somebody who don't know nothing about SNL. We wrote that entire sketch. I act a fool at the table. And then they put Brian Tucker on the sketch. They're like, "Punkie, we're going to get you some help. We're going to get Brian Tucker on this." And then it just went from there. Now, the way she looked was inspired by this movie called The Players Club. If you haven't seen The Players Club, that's with Lisa Ray. And she's on there. And the woman that was the bully, I forgot her name, Roshonda or something. But I was the bully with the big, tall blonde hair in the leopard dress, the one who said, "Don't make the money, don't let it make you," or something. I don't know what the daggone quote was, but that was the motivation behind the outfit, The Players Club. And then it just went from there. Put my leg on the table, that was my favorite part.
Can I have the desk?
Can I have the desk? And I took the desk. He's like, hey. Strip my brain.
That's great insight though about how that came to be after writing a.
I was trying to come out. If I did Pineapple again, I was coming down from a stripper pole. That was the whole goal.
Like you wanted to have a stripper pole and come down literally onto the
update. Damn right. It would have been so stupid.
I would have loved it.
Well, the next iteration of Pineapple could have been that. So let's talk about another update piece. You're playing yourself, I think, when the Billie Eilish episode, right, where your family, kind of the family rules of New Orleans. COVID things are getting lifted, so it's the holiday season, and you're talking about. I think it's a bunch of your stand up, right?
Yeah, that is
great material.
A lot of the church people was mad at that bit.
Why so? Because it's so real.
Because I said something about if I'm gay, then my daughter gay.
Right.
But my son can't be gay because everybody bumping cooches. If I'm bumping cooches, everybody bumping cooches.
That's right.
I think you said, which I'm surprised they let you say on air, but you said that you don't want your daughter to get boned, and then Che's like, "Oh no."
But it's a joke. I mean, if my daughter want to be with a man, I'm gonna let her.
Well, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not great, you know what I'm saying? But I just think it's so funny,
It's funny because you don't think about saying it out loud, and then you say it out loud. It's great. That's the same one where
it's the same. It's like straight people. A lot of straight people don't want their children to be gay. So why would I want my child to be straight? Well, it's the same thing.
Absolutely. That's the same one where you're talking about the oldest person is making the potato salad, and Che's uncle or whatever doesn't have a foot. Oh, that must taste good.
You can't have no foot if you got if you making a potato salad. You can't have no foot.
So, when you got your stand-up on, did you think that was potentially like a path for you on SNL? Because we had just come off an era where we had Leslie Jones and Pete Davidson going on the update desk, just doing a bunch of stand-up. Is that like something you thought you might be able to do, or were there too many stand-ups that are on the show to sort of get that?
You know what? SNL confused me. Okay, I had to go into deep reflection after that show. I had to shut everybody off and go into a box because I really had to think and reset and figure out what the hell was going on. It's a very confusing job. It's just like I would do a lot of update stand-up pieces that weren't topical, but they wouldn't let them on. A lot of them would kill at the table. To this day, I have absolutely no, because I talked to Tracy Morgan. And Tracy Morgan's like, just be funny. Be funny. And I'm like, I'm sitting up here and I'm doing exactly what you told me to do, but it doesn't help. So it's just like, at that point, it's like, what do you do? So all I can do is tell you this. I started working out like a crazy person in February, and that has done astronomical work for my mental health. So it's just like whenever I would get upset or stressed or feel depressed, I would work out. And inside of that workout, this guy, he says the same quote every single day. And it has really, really helped me in my day-to-day operations. And all he says is, do your best, but get the rest. And it's the most simple, most cliche thing. Do your best, but get the rest. So I would just go to work. I'll do my best, but get the rest because I did my job. I did what I had to like go into hibernation and really shake myself out of whatever that shit I was going through. I was all like depressed and all crazy and stuff. And I really had to say, you did your best. Forget the rest. I can't sit up here and worry about the things that I don't have control over. I don't get to pick the picks, but I know I did my job.
And this is great stuff here because I always feel like when we touch, even though we're coming at it from an SNL and a comedy angle, when we come to life lessons from people like this, you're talking about your mental health, you're talking about what you need to do in order to be at peace, that I think the world needs to hear those kinds of things. And so you sharing that, and even your workout regime,
yeah. I don't
people can learn from that.
And yeah, I have seen it. It's incredible stuff, Punkie, what you've done. And, I was going to say, because it goes sort of hand in hand, but like right after that Billie Eilish episode, I think if I remember correctly, you miss most of the next few episodes. And I was
so sick. Yeah.
You had COVID, was it?
I had COVID. And the first week I was very, very ill. Like, I mean, it felt like somebody was just kicking me in the head. I was like, God damn. I'm like, this shit. Like, if you ain't think COVID was real, when you got it, I know you felt it. I put it to you like that. That was, I was miserable. And then I kept testing positive. Like it would be past the 10 days and I would still just have COVID in my system. They would send nurses to my house to test me and I would still have COVID. You know what? I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I don't think I could be penalized no more. And it didn't even work. So I tried to beat the system. I put Vaseline. I put Vaseline in my nose to try to come back to work. And it didn't work.
Wow.
But that just goes to show you that, you know, if you sick, you sick. You can't beat science.
I was gonna say, were you the reason why everyone got sick for that Paul Rudd episode?
No, you know who? You know what? It was probably Lauren or probably Colin Joe's ass. I put it out there. Yeah, one of y'all motherfuckers got sick.
That's so funny. That's so
no, it wasn't me. Not that.
That was crazy though. Everybody was going down.
Well, you know what? Everybody got sick except for me. So I got sick that next year. So that was in the fall part of the year. And then I got sick. I think
you missed the Ariana DeBose and Will Forte episodes.
Was that in January or February?
That was in January. So you had missed the Paul Rudd episode, but I think that was the one where they just sent everybody home anyways.
But that one was December though, right?
Yeah, that was December. And then the first 2 of January, you were gone. You came back for Willem Dafoe, the old man, as you like to call him. Yeah,
everybody got sick. It was a epidemic up in that mug. It was crazy.
Well, because at first they were going to try to do the show without an audience, I think, wasn't it?
If I'm not mistaken, yes. And they still did something. Didn't they do something?
Well, they had when they first came back. Well, they did a show they turned it into a clip show with a few live things. Keenan, I think, was one of the only players.
Yeah. And I think Chase stayed back for something. Yeah.
Yeah, there were pre-tapes that they filmed that week that ended up going into the show that they moved in there. And then I think Tina Fey did update with Shay. It was like one of the weirdest nights ever at SNL. And, you know, it was just so crazy. But yeah.
Because the live things were like wraparounds.
Yeah.
So, but do you remember like if missing that, you know, bit of time in 47 affected your trajectory for that season?
Probably. I got sick in this last season too. That messed me up. I think I missed. Did I miss? I don't think I missed any episodes, but I was sick. But I didn't have COVID. I had something else. But man, that was a tough one. I thought I was dying. I went to the emergency room and everything. It was bad, but it wasn't COVID. It was something else. Well, I couldn't breathe. My head was hurting. The nurse had to take care of me. They gave me all kinds. That's why I love. One thing I do miss about SNL, let me tell you something. To know that I didn't have to go to work today, when I wake up and know that they're at work and I'm not, I feel liberation. I don't miss a damn thing about that job. Now, what I do miss, of course, I miss the relationships and the people because we had so much fun. And I had fun cooking in my dressing room. But if you get sick, they take care of you. If they had times I had to take blood tests from my other doctors, I just go see the SNL doctors. I had an earache. They took care of it, flushed all my ears out. Take your P test, whatever you need, they do it. Man, I was doped up when I was sick. They was like, here, take this. Here, take this. Take this. I'm popping pills. I'm getting loaded. They take care of your ass over there.
Do you think that's why they let you go? Because you used all their medical budget?
Probably.
And now he's cooking in the dressing rooms now.
But I think that's another reason too. They're like, are we paying this bitch to cook in the dressing room? What the hell is going on?
But that was always fun to see.
Hallway, smelling like a Cajun restaurant, man.
That's funny though.
Down up in that. Well, because
all right, we got to talk. We got to talk about the couples counselor. You know, with Jake Gyllenhaal. That was when it landed, but I believe it was cut from the Kieran Culkin episode earlier in the season. Is that correct?
Yes. It was a cup of time. It didn't make it. I was just happy that it didn't get cut at dress. And
Well, and Jake was great in it, and
Right.
I mean, it was just tell us a little bit about that. That had to be one of the highlights for you.
Yeah, that was a fun one. You know, when I look back at that sketch, I don't like it.
Really?
When I look back at it, I'm like, this is very slow. It got too much space in it. You know, see, I'll call it how I see it. I don't care if it's my work. I'm a critique the hell out of all my stuff. It's slow. The sketch is way too long. It should have been 3.5 minutes. It's like 6 minutes. It's like, we don't need all of this. So if I could go back and do it again, I would make it a lot tighter, take all the air out of it, take the space out of it, and make sure the jokes are set up at 5 and 7 seconds.
Interesting, because I liked it a lot. I think the space grounded it in reality. And
that's true. I probably just over critique myself.
Yeah, because I watch a lot of these things, but when I saw it, to me, I think it works because it really, really escalates. Like, you seem like a very real therapist for about a minute. And then from the cell phone calls to reading the text out loud, to the whole thing about you're wearing your work wig and all that stuff. Like, it kept it kept getting. So to me, like, I think you would lose the proper buildup if you sped it up.
You really pay attention to the small things.
That is literally what we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of that sketch.
This is my
me
work.
Too. I love that.
Well, it's outrageous. You're like, what's the
sound clip? You kept playing it on the podcast.
Yeah, like she's coming in with a water gun, but like there's the other nuance of the don't do that voice. And then later on at the end, you're like, okay, give me the voice.
Girl.
And then a couple episodes later, you did do the Selena Gomez episode. So you touched a little bit on that Intuition song that you did with Selena. I thought that was one of your best episodes because you had that whole thing in the monologue where you were playing yourself and you were flirting with Selena. And I thought that was like, to me, like, if I was coaching you at the show, I would be like, that is such a good place for you to be, where you're playing yourself directly to directly talking to the audience at home, but you're doing your thing to the host. And like, that to me was very Tracy Morgan-esque, where you could have done that. And then you also had the music video where you are on her shoulder telling her everything that she shouldn't be doing. And I also think that is like such a good character trait because, like, if you haven't realized listening to almost an hour of this, like, Punkie's the nicest person in the world, but you also have like a little bit of a sick, twisted mind. And I love that you got to put that in the show. So to me, this was one of your best episodes by far.
It was I'm toxic. I'm such a great person, but my toxicity level is at 100. But I'm working through it. I have a therapist, and she is not Dr. Wyatt. She is a real doctor. Okay? But I really enjoyed that. I had Selena rapping. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Selena laid down some bars, and you know what? Let me tell Post Malone. Yes, mother. So we was about to have to cut him out the whole thing. Okay. Because usually when you make a music video, you need for the host to record the music before you film the music video. Right. Excuse me. We weren't able to do it because if I'm not mistaken, we had to go to the gala at the museum like we do every year. Now, Post Malone, he is lit. Okay, this dude got Bud Lights and all kind of stuff. He can't get the words down. He just like doing all this stuff. He is not matching to the beat. And they come to me, they're like, look, Punkie, we're going to have to figure something out because this ain't it. Post ain't going to get it. And they like, this is why you make them do it before the music video. But man, SNL is a monster. They have these different editors. Whatever he was talking about, they was able to match it to the music, his lips to whatever the music was. And they ended up, man, I couldn't even sleep that night. But I woke up the next day and they like, Punkie, come see this. And they shocked me and they brought the video together. And then they were afraid that Post Malone wasn't going to be able to record the music that night. But he actually he a man of his word, man. He went up in there and he laid down that track and killed it. I was
fascinating.
I forgot that Post don't rap like that. You know, he's
Well,
not
that's-
that fast lyricist like that. So I was just like, this. At the end of the day, of course, I'm blaming myself. I'm like, he don't even rap like that. What was I thinking?
We love doing these kinds of conversations because we love learning these little inside gems that we would never know. And speaking of these recorded music videos, I want to talk about the Big Boys.
My staple to SNL.
It is. You saw that on the opening video clip too, right? Yes. And we got so many people wondering why it's not on Spotify and why it's not its own legit song out there, because it is. You rap like legit. It is good. And so one of my questions for you really is about that process, because you do that, right? You record that earlier in the day or the day before you go out and film, because they use that for playback, right?
Yeah, they use it for playback. You got to record it. That was, I don't even know. I think, like, I love to write music. You know, unfortunately for me, I never understood how to write it. I could write comical music, but there's a difference between writing comical music and writing comical music in an SNL format. So that's why a lot of my music didn't go, because the SNL format, my dumb ass just couldn't get it. So, I don't know. I was just like, man, it's. I was talking to my girl Vanessa. I'm like, bruh, what do we go? I was like, dog, we gotta write this song, bruh. I was like, it's. You know, the people are single. This is where I like to be with bigger women, because I like for them to keep me warm. And I was like, it's cuffing season, and then it just came, and then we wasn't expecting that song to happen the way it happened. We was just having fun. And then it dropped and everybody went crazy. And of course, you know, SZA played a big part of it. And we had Kiki. That's two huge elements that'll make a song just shoot to the top, you know. But if I'm not mistaken, the song should be on. I could be a millionaire right now if that song made it to Spotify.
Well, so what is the deal? Why isn't it up there?
The song, we can't release anything unless all parties want to release it. SZA does not want to release the song.
Okay. And
that's the word that we got. Kiki signed off on the song. You know, SNL wants us to win. So they want to put the song on Spotify. But the word that I got was SZA's team was not signed off on releasing the song to Spotify.
Damn, that sucks, because there's so many good SNL songs that came out of sketches over the years that people just jam to. I mean, like all the Lonely Island songs, you know, we would listen to in high school, like driving around and stuff like that. Like, I just feel like that there's like a generation of like young SNL fans that just love Big Boys, and like they probably downloaded it illegally and are playing it in the car like every time we go around. So it's crazy.
I just get so upset. I mean, you know, I don't talk to SZA, so I don't really know I just know what the word is on the street. But I'm just like, why wouldn't you know what I'm saying? Come on, bruh. You know?
Yeah. We need a movement. All the SNL fans, we need a movement. We need to get SZA to agree to this.
Come on, SZA, bruh. Come on, dog. What's up, bruh? We was cool. We danced. We did a video on set together. We did a personal video, bruh. Come on, man. Holla at your girl, SZA.
100%.
So how was she working with her on it, though? She seemed to be into it, I would imagine, right?
We had fun. I thought we had a good time. It was cool. She had a good time. Kiki killed it. Cecily came up, killed it. Ego came, man. Ego did something with her voice for that song that really got me going. Something about I don't even remember her verse, but she did something raspy with her voice, and I was just like, dude. I was like, do it again. It was just like every part of it just made me so happy. I was just that will. Big Boys, Latina Jefferson, and Pineapple are going to be my three main babies. And Intuition, of course, because that was my first song.
Would you ever create songs like this, like on your own now after SNL? Like, is that a path that you would ever consider, like making your own content in that way?
I would like to. Me and Ben Silver wrote an ice cream sandwich song. Man, I am so mad that song didn't go. It was called Ice Cream and Lunch Sandwiches. And it was just the dumbest thing. It was just like, for people that want to have ice cream and lunch at the same time, we would put the sandwich together and you would have ice cream sandwich and put some meat on ice cream sandwich. So we called it an ice cream lunch sandwich. Man, that song goes so hard. I like my turkey. I mean, I don't even remember the song, but it goes ice cream sandwiches, ice cream sandwiches. Ice cream lunch sandwiches, ice cream lunch sandwiches, ice cream lunch sandwiches. Oh man, that song was popping, and we was
don't give up.
It was gonna be like for the summertime for everybody to be eating ice cream lunch. Man, I'm so mad at that song.
Yeah, and then don't give it up. I feel like there's a path piece somewhere.
Was it at the table? So was it the table?
No, it ain't make it the table. They told us that they told us we didn't have a chance at it because the way we wrote it, the budget was just, it was way too large. It was just like too many elements. And they was just like, we don't even want to waste y'all time. But man,
too many layers on the sandwich.
Too many layers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did end up you got that rap on with Marcello, I think you were going to say, when Timothée Chalamet hosted the show.
That was a good one too. I love just working with Timothy. Is just, Tim's always good, man. He's just you could just tell he's a gentle soul. You know what I'm saying?
That's the monologue, right? We're talking about.
Yeah.
So what happened with that was this our SNL. This is the mind of Lauren, right? Song goes to table. Me and Marcello act a fool at the table, of course, with Tim, right? Song don't get picked. We pissed. All right. Because why this song went so well at table and y'all ain't picking? You know what? F it. So now we all sour. We go to the bar, have a few drinks, and of course we talking shit. F them. You know how you get when you're mad? F them all. They don't know what it is. So then I'm just sitting in my office the next day, which is Thursday. Bing, bing, get a text from talent. Hey, Lauren want to bring back like some old school SNL and put this song just on live. I'm like, what? We don't know how that's going to work. We don't run the show, but Lauren has a vision. So they make it a sketch. It's supposed to be in the middle of the show somewhere. Lauren comes down. He watches practice it. The next day, bing, another call, text, or whatever. Lauren we going to use this as a monologue. Now it makes more sense. So that's why I keep telling people, you just never know. They can do whatever they want, however they please. They run late night television on Saturday. So it's just like, that's why when a lot of people would hit me up and be like, you busy Saturday night? Yeah, I'm busy till I'm not. Or I might not be busy till I am. You don't know what Lauren gonna do. You could be in 5 sketches and they could all get cut. You could be in 2 sketches and they'll add in 3.
So for those of us following along here at home, that Chalamet monologue started as a pitch, as a pre-tape, then a live song, and then finally part of the monologue.
Yep. And then Lauren came up and just like dissected that entire thing, because even though it was supposed to be live, we still had it written in basically performance-wise, we still had it mentally, seeing it visually as a pre-tape. So you know how in the pre-tape where they have like talking here and there and then you jump back to the song, we still was trying to perform it as it was written. So as we practicing it, Lauren comes down and this dude just dissect this whole jigsaw puzzle, start moving all kind of shit around. Do this, bam, bam, do that, bam, bam. You do it, go there, and then boom. Lauren done rewrote the sketch without even a pen and a pad, just telling us just bap, 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 bap. I'm just watching this, man. I'm just like, let's get married.
It's incredible that like he's been doing it for so long and he hasn't lost like a little bit. Like he still has his fastball.
He ain't skipping the beat. He ain't the dude that, go to the Jets and have a 3-10.
No.
He ain't that
he's
guy.
no Aaron Rodgers.
Nah.
But is there ever a moment though, like at the table or something where there's something so fresh and current that Lauren doesn't get, that somebody has to break it down for him, or is he just?
You know, you never know what Lauren understands and what he doesn't understand until you go to that after party and you sit down and you talk to him. Because as far as the show go, if it goes to the show, if it goes to live, you would assume that Lauren knows exactly what's going on, but he probably don't. And then you go sit down and you talk to him, and he'd be like, you know what? I really ain't understand none of that shit. You'd be like, wait, what? You know, but he's the type of person, he doesn't really, I don't think he cares if he understands it or not. I think he's more motivated at what it can bring to the show. So this ain't even for me to understand. You know, you think Lauren understand all that stuff PDD be doing? No.
Yeah, do you think he understood It Girl Thanksgiving?
No, absolutely not. You think he understood Hot Girl Hospital? Absolutely not.
You should have put him in that one.
It's just that he knows that Meg Stallion wanted to do the sketch. He knows that the audience probably wanted to see the sketch. So to his understanding, it don't even matter. Lauren 80. Lauren I don't think he can no more. I just think he enjoys torturing everybody. He just be eating his pie. You should see him on pitch day when we go pitch. This how the pitches go. All right. You walk in the office. The office is the size of, I don't know, like a den, right? You got a sofa and a sofa, 2 sofas, and you're squeezing, I don't know, 25, 30 people in this office. Okay.
This is Monday night, right?
Monday night pitch. Lauren is sitting behind his big old desk with all kind of gadgets and gifts. Right behind him, he got a big bucket of popcorn. Not just for him, not a small little container, a bucket of popcorn. Okay. We walking in the office, he is fucking this popcorn up. All you see is Lauren doing this when you go into the office.
So interject with a question. Does anyone know, is there a certain brand of what is Lauren's popcorn?
I think he just like regular ass popcorn. He's a very simple man. He's a simple man. I got him some New Orleans popcorn. I'll get him some of his favorite stuff, New Orleans style, and then I'll write him a letter saying, I know you ain't gonna eat it. I know you ain't gonna use it. I know you ain't gonna do blah 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 with it. But just to let you know, I'll be watching you. I know.
So what's his drink of choice?
Water. I don't think I don't think he's had a drink in a while, if I'm not mistaken. But if he did, I think, was it a margarita? Maybe. But I haven't seen him drinking in a minute. I think
anyway, so okay, back to the pitch. So he was devouring popcorn. You're sitting there on the floor.
You're killing it while he watching us. Excuse me. Let me squeeze in right here. Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry. And you just sitting up there just looking so stupid. Half of us are on the floor. Some of us on a couch. Everybody can't fit. So some people leaning on the frame of the door, peeking in with their hand resting on their head. And then as soon as everybody sit down, he says, Meg the Stallion. And everybody just start clapping. Right? And then he say, Rosebud, we gonna start with you. And then you go around and you pitch. And then after the pitch, he says either he gonna say something smart, snarky, or he gonna tell you to do good. He'll say something cheesy. He'll say is, well, last week is done. That means he didn't like last. That means he's like, we could do better.
What was the most ridiculous pitch you've ever given on a Monday?
You know what? I never really had ridiculous pitches. My pitches that's why I text Lauren. Like after I finished talking to talent and everything, and after I was just like, we're done. This relationship is over, or whatever. And I text him and I told him, I said, just want to let you know that I appreciate you and I love you. But pitch gonna be boring without me. Because, I'm coming in the pitch. I'm swinging, right? So one of the pitches, this one Keenan gave me an Emmy. He picked up the real Emmy out of Lauren's office and handed it to me in the pitch room. And basically
after you said what you were going to say?
Yep. Basically what I said was, you can play, I forgot who was hosting that week, but I was like, you can play my dad who accepts his stepdaughter for being gay and who gives her a nickname called Reginald. Because my daddy gave me a nickname as I was growing up. And he started calling me Reginald, and then he started calling me Regin for short. And as a kid, you don't ask adults why they do things. But as I got older, when I turned like 16, 17, I was like, Pop, why you call me Regin? Because the whole time I thought he was calling me Regin because he wanted me to feel accepted and a part of the family. So I was like, why you call me Regin? He's like, I said, what does Regin mean? He was like, oh, that's nigga spelled backwards. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. And it just rolled off and then he just walked off. And I was like, you've been calling me a backwards nigga my entire life? Like,
oh my God.
So man, it was like the pitch of the Keenan was like Punkie. Keenan took the damn Emmy and he was just like probably best pitch I ever heard, Punkie. He's just like, we don't even need to hear no more.
That is an amazing story.
Because I say stuff off the wall. Like I be saying, like I had a pitch called Mount Preggers. Where it's a school for pregnant women.
Mount Preggers.
And since they was getting rid of abortion, you know, that was when all the abortion stuff was happening, where they was taking away all the rights. And I was like, this is a school called Mount Preggers, because you can't get an abortion. You go to Mount Preggers and you go up this mountain and you kick the pregnant women down the steps. I set it up way better at the pitch. It was a way much better setup, premise, punch. But yeah, man, they was the people just be looking at me like Punkie.
So Regin, that one with the Emmy is you get Lauren.
You're not allowed to say Regin.
He can say Regin.
Right.
Yeah, say Regin. But you know what? That's a good point.
I shouldn't say it. All right. So the
R word.
The R word. So is Lauren spitting out his popcorn at this point?
Oh man. I used to have Lauren in stitches. I remember I bombed a sketch one time, and he came walking in the hallway, and we locked eyes. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I looked him up and down. And I was like, I know it was trash. I know it sucked. You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to look at me like that. And he bust out laughing and like stumbled through the hall. And I think the stumble was to basically verify, yeah, that shit was trash.
It's so good.
I'll be texting people when I bomb. I'll text the update desk. I'll be like, y'all ain't even gotta tell me. Because some people be waiting for them to tell them. Maybe it'll go, no, bitch, I already know what I did.
Yeah, you intercept that.
I know.
Punkie, have you ever spent time, like while you were there for the few years, exploring like either the studio or the 17th floor? Just like, you know, you're in this like incredibly old building with all these cool things going on. Like anything that was ever like, should I really be doing this?
Let me tell you why. Because it's an old building and I'm from New Orleans. I don't mess with ghosts. I don't be liking them. I ain't about to go nowhere where I ain't supposed to go. You can mess around and get stuck. Okay. I'm not a gambler.
That makes sense. All right, let's go back to your final season at the show. So there's a couple of moments that I just want to make sure that we hit on here. So you mentioned Latina Jefferson, your telenovela character from the Bad Bunny episode. I mean, to me, that was the one where I love the couples counselor. I love Big Boys, but that was the one for me that was like, this is the Punkie that I know. Like by that point, like you and I are good friends. I'm like, I've seen your personality and I'm seeing you come out. I'm like, this is you at like the height of your powers coming out and just rushing on screen. And I wish we could have gotten more than one of those, but do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about that character? And
I tried to do that in 48, tried to do it in 48, but we couldn't exactly get who she was. Like the first one, she would be the person that was invited to a Mexican party where but it would be a Mexican vegan party and she'd come up in there and shit on everybody who eat meat. That wasn't it. So then the next year, after I had the summer to think about it, I ended up going to Radio City and opening it up for Che and Colin Jost. And I pitched it to the crowd. I also went and pitched it to talent. But every time I pitched it to somebody, they'd be like this. And I'll be like, it's going to work. Like now I'm crazy because when you got a vision and it's gonna work, the reaction that people give you don't even care about it. You just be like, I'm gonna show y'all. Y'all just sit tight. So of course, me and Ben, my baby, who knows how to talk in my language, we recruit Jimmy and Kira, who helped us to cement it in the SNL format to where it can actually really work. And the way that went was, it was like, Punkie, they gave me a Spanish sentence to say, and when I looked at it, I said "Kuna una matata," and it was like, that's what we putting in the script. I didn't know. I just looked at the Spanish, and in my mind, it said "Kuna una tuna matata." That's and it was like, whatever she just said, we just gonna type it up just like that, and that's just pretty much how. And Ben's idea was to do it like some kind of like what you call it? I'm drawing a mind like a brain fart here. Like the Young and the Restless.
Like a soap opera.
Soap opera. So it's like he's like, man, we can make it like a soap opera where because my whole premise was, whatever this person is, she goes somewhere where they're looking for a Latina, and then she shows up and they like, I thought you was Latina, and I'll be like, I am Latina Jefferson, and we just needed to figure out what room Latina was gonna be in to where she can fully be in this woman's shoes. And we picked the soap opera, and it just worked so well. And then of course you got the elements of Bowen coming in, and then you got Mikey coming in.
Oh God, Bowen has one of the best lines where he clearly overstates whatever the Spanish title is. And then he says, take 12. And he goes, have fun, everybody. Before he goes.
So it's like everybody had their, I feel like with that one, sometimes I'll get lost in the themes, but everybody specifically had their role, and it was very, very obvious what everybody was there to do, from Bowen to Mikey to myself. To
Mick Jagger.
Man, listen, I love the fact that Mick was in it. That means when Lauren put his buddies in it, and he loves Mick, him and Mick are really close. That means Lauren really loves the sketch.
Yeah. I would imagine that to be true.
Yeah. So that really made me happy. That really made me happy. And
Mick Jagger is a legend.
Yeah, I just went to see him in concert the other day. I mean, not the other day, maybe a couple months back, when he was at MetLife in Jersey. So it was nice.
That's awesome. All right, I want to ask you about this moment that we had this in the intro of the podcast tonight. In the Jacob Elordi episode, there's this AA meeting sketch, and then you steal the sketch with this huge moment of yours where you're more revealing than we've ever seen you on the show before. So how'd that happen?
So Jimmy is, writer, my baby, Jimmy Fowler. This fool, he
convinces you.
You know what? I don't need convincing. I'll go to other sets and and they be like, you got a fitting, and I'll just get butt naked. And they'd be like, no, you got to get behind the thing. And I'm like, oh, I'm just so used to being naked all the time that I didn't even pay attention to the curtain that you got over there that I'm supposed to stand behind. So I had no problem with bouncing my jugs. I did not know it was going to be such a hit. I didn't know my breasts were going to go viral, but they did. But Jimmy was just like, we got you. Because anybody could have did that. Aggle could have did it. Heidi, but they just like, nah.
Can I just say, I don't think it was like, I think it was partially that, but it was also everyone's reactions to that moment.
Chloe's losing it, right? I mean, Chloe is like,
I love it when I make everybody break. That'd be my favorite.
She's the closest to you, or sitting to you, right? And Chloe just cannot.
Just popping them babies out. Everybody like, that's your breast? I'm like, yeah. But of course, they gave me like this crazy push-up, Brian, like pushed them together and like put them all the way up there. And, just that was a great moment for my breast.
It was a hilarious moment. Yeah, that was so good.
Yes.
John, is this the only time on the podcast you've heard someone utter the line, "I have no problem bouncing my jugs"?
Yeah, might be we might be going for new ground here a few years into this
Punkie,
thing.
you crack me up.
Look,
It's
might
so
not
good.
have been the best at sketch, might not make the Hall of Fame of SNL, but one thing about me, I'm a performer. I will perform. I love to do it all. Period.
Oh, I will tell you that I have a coworker who knew that we were speaking with you today, and that was the first thing that she mentioned was
The jugs.
was yes, the jokes. That sketch was just so funny for her.
Hey, look, I try to stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready. Put me to the test. I'm out there. They know I like to play.
They do. So the excitement for the 50th. I think we said this before we came on live here. That you need to be there in February for the 50th anniversary.
Okay.
Right. And what is? I mean, what can you? 50 years. I mean, of SNL. What does that mean to you? I mean, you're one of the, few people that can say, I am part of that history, and that's pretty freaking cool.
There wasn't a day that went by. Like, let's put the stress on the side. Let's put the politics of the place on the side. Let's put all of the toxic energy to the side. Let's put all of that to the side, right? Let's put to the side that it wasn't on my vision board. Let's put that to the side that I didn't know what I was doing. Let's put all that to the side. The bigger picture is, for 4 years, every single day that I walked through that building, I absolutely couldn't believe that I was there. For 4 years, 80-something episodes, I could not believe that I was there, ever. So it was definitely one of the biggest blessings that God has ever rained on me in my entire life. And I appreciate every single piece of it, from the good, from the bad, from the people. I appreciate every single thing. I was with the big dogs. I was with Lorne Michaels. I have his phone number. I can call him if I want to. Not many people can do that. But even for that, I'm very grateful. I got to learn how to produce. I got to learn how to direct.
Yeah.
I got to learn how to put things together. The clothing. What are we going to wear? What's the wig look like? What's the set look like? What sofa you want? What color the wall's going to be? I got to understand how tedious it is to direct and make a film through sketch. So I got to learn a lot about this business. And to me, the learning part was the biggest part for me. So I'm very, very grateful for the people that be like, you know what, we want to support Punkie. I don't really like to say fans. I don't know what it is about that word that bothers me. I like the word supporters.
Yeah, well, I think that's great. And honestly, we'll talk offline, but I think you have to go. For me, like, I think in 5 years, 10 years, like, looking back on this whole experience, you're going to wish that you were there, because it's going to be the biggest celebration the show is ever going to have. Probably. We don't know. Like, I think the show's an institution and it's going to be around for a very long time. The format may change and things may change, but for me, like, this is going to be as big as it gets, I think. And you are just like such a great ambassador of the show, because you are such a great personality. And even though, like, you don't see, people want, supporters of yours necessarily as fans, like, to me, like, you are a great bridge between us and the show. And we'd be so excited to get to see you, whether it's in the audience or pictures of you.
Let's do it. Or me acting a fool in the hallway where they saying, Punkie, could you please get out of the way? Like,
yeah.
I was just all in the way. I'm like, oh, my bad. Just eating up all the Reese pieces at the page desk and drinking up all the drink. I'll be there.
We can't wait to see it. Yeah, you'll be there for sure. So I think this is a good place for us to wrap up our conversation tonight. Punkie, seriously, like, cannot thank you enough for being as, like, real as you are, just telling us everything that's been going on. And I know the listeners really appreciated getting to hear from you. What are you working on now that you are, you have your time back?
Everything.
Anything you can promote?
I think,
you and Dicey hitting the road?
So when I left SNL, that mean no income. So everybody got fired. I fired everybody on my payroll. I can't pay you if I ain't getting paid. But I'm actually got a podcast that I'm gonna launch myself and produce it myself. Because I don't want nobody telling me what to do, how to talk, how many episodes to put up. I'm gonna just put them up. They're gonna go up at random when I want. Some of them gonna be 10 minutes, some of them gonna be 30, some of them gonna be 12. I don't want the commitment or the contingencies I just want to do what I want to do. So I'm gonna launch this podcast January 1st. It's gonna be called Gay and Ghetto.
Gay and Ghetto.
Gay and Ghetto.
I love it.
So people.
Do you have any people you do like? Are you just? It's just you talking into the microphone, or is it with anybody else?
Yep. Okay, just cool. Straight up face the camera. Just honestly, I just want to be open with the people, and I want people to get to know me for me instead of the TV stuff. So I feel like if I could build a better relationship with people, then I could have a better, future. Because I want people to know who they really following. So you get a choice if you want to kick it with me or not.
I love it.
I love it.
And I just rapped in Chicago. I did the Shy for a couple episodes. Talked to Lena, and it's possible I could be joining the show. I don't know. I mean, that's a gray area, but I would love to be on the Shy. I loved it. I love being there. It was a great experience, and I love the people. And it was really my zone. It was really my lane on acting and stuff like that. So, and it's on Showtime. I need to be on Showtime.
That's a great place for you. So I love that.
That's where you've always wanted to be. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Punk, if you don't mind sticking around for a minute, we'll just do some quick plugs for our show. So if you enjoyed what you heard tonight, let us know. Put your comments on the video. Send some messages to Punkie. Let her know how much you love getting to hear from her. We always just love communicating with the supporters of the show. So you can also subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, so you never miss anything that's going on here. And follow us on social media at the SNL Network on all social platforms to catch up on everything that we have going on. We're going to have full coverage of the Paul Mescal and Shabuzi episode of Saturday Night Live, kicking off with our hot take show on Saturday right after the show airs, Monday Night Roundtable, Wednesday By the Numbers. So here for everything to talk through that episode. And then James, I'm very excited that this Thursday we have something special coming up on the YouTube channel. So
yes,
are you ready?
This Thursday, yes, I am pumped. This Thursday we come back with season 18 of everything you need to know about Saturday Night Live. Season 18, each episode going through a season. This is a fun one. It's Chris Rock's last season. Some great Phil Hartman and Chris Farley stuff. The 1992 to 1993 season. So this Thursday, that season 18 episode will release. In the meantime, there are 17 episodes of the seasons previous to that you can check out on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, Punkie, we've been doing about 15 to 20 minute recaps of every season of Saturday Night Live so people can catch up on old stuff very quickly as we head towards this anniversary special.
Yep, hey, that's what you do. That's what you do, boy. I love that. Everybody could be all caught up and understand exactly how we got from 0 to 50.
Yeah, we'll be very exciting. We'll make sure to send you your seasons when we get to them eventually.
Let's do it, baby.
Absolutely.
That'll be fun. Yes, and of course, Punkie would love to have you back on the show again another time. So it'll be fantastic to talk to you more. Thanks to everybody in the chat for joining us on this night. And thanks to LateNighter.com for being our presenting partner for the show. And James, always a pleasure getting to hang out with you, buddy.
Likewise, John.
All right. On behalf of James Stephens and Punkie Johnson, my name is Jon Schneider from the Saturday Night Network, and we will see you next time, everybody. Have a good one.